Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. It's been a while. So much has been going on. But let's not get into all of that. First of all, it's so hot in here. You might hear another sound kind of kicking in from time to time. I'm trying to keep some ventilation going through the bunker. It's a mess. My makeup is actually, I'm going to unbutton myself more, just like keep my neck in the back. This is insane. I'm like literally dying. But I'm still filming. I need a fan. Okay, so that was a very non-elegant way to begin a video. I've missed all of you, and I really wanted to do a video since quite some time. Actually, let me tell you, I'm going to read a comment from almost 4 weeks ago. A wonderful comment, and this comment will be related to this. Yes, my dears, we are doing a very different kind of review. Let me take protection layers off so we could actually see the bag for what it is. It is the review of the regular classic size of the 2.55 Chanel bag, de-stressed calfskin and gold hardware. It's so hot, I'm going to be losing my... Anyway, we're used to seeing, you know, the typical reviews on this bag, the size, which we all know. Just go on the Chanel website, you're going to find the size. How amazing it is, how amazing it smells. It is amazing, it smells amazing. I can tell you, you need to know one particular thing, kind of why this bag is the best bag in the world when it comes to this high-end luxury. I know people are comparing the Hermes Kelly with the 2.55, and there's always this like kind of, you know, questioning, but the Kelly is mostly made by hand, and this one is more by machine, and blah, blah. Well, let me tell you one thing. The Kelly might be older than the 2.55, but the 2.55, as Chanel created it, it remained the same. She called it the 2.55. The date came out in February 1955, hence the 2.55, and the name stayed the same. Now we just call it the reissue because it wasn't produced for a certain period of time in this way, and then it was reproduced. So it's just a reissue of the same bag. The Kelly wasn't always called the Kelly. In fact, the Kelly wasn't even the Kelly in the beginning. It was a bag, you know, kind of connected to, well, Hermes's heritage and tradition of working, you know, horse riding. It was kind of like more of a staple of, let's say, a horse person, type of person. I don't want to go into specifics, but, you know, after a certain period of time, that bag has been modified, changed, its name shifted to the Kelly name because, you know, Grace Kelly, the Princess of Monaco, was seen first kind of, well, not first wearing it, but prominently wearing it to hide her pregnancy. So she would kind of wear it there hanging off, you know, her arm to cover the belly area. So the bag kind of changed its name to the Kelly bag. Why? Because they wanted to make it iconic. ASAP. ASAP. This little baby here, it didn't need that. It didn't need a name change. It didn't need to be called any names of any famous people in order to become the most incredible bag in the world. You know what I mean? So, whatever. That's all you need to know. It does, for me, modest personal opinion, it does top the Kelly any day, anytime. But that's as far as I'm going to go in this particular review, because we're now heading into deeper territories than just the superficial. And the deeper territory being a comment that I've received from a wonderful subscriber of mine called ST. So ST writes, I've been collecting Chanel since the 80s. Believe it or not, it was cheaper than Coach back then. Let me just put the bag down carefully and shift a little bit upwards here. No one wanted to carry an old woman's bag, which is what the bags were considered. The ladies who lunch were the ones you saw with them 99% of the time. The change in Chanel is disgraceful. I stopped purchasing when I had to request 6 flaps to review because each one of them was defective. For $4,000, it damn well better be perfect. The essay's attitude was what sealed the deal. The essay said, it's Chanel. It's just how it is. No, it isn't. My mother was a model for Madame Gabrielle in the 50s. Part of her pay included sample clothes that she modeled as well as shoes and jewelry. If you saw how the clothing was made then and through the 80s and compared them to the junk that is produced now, you would cry. Chanel was a magnificent line once upon a time. Now it's a bad joke. Dacob, your channel is superb. Thank you so much. Please continue educating about Chanel and bringing forth such thought-provoking topics. Luxury, as we know it today, is not what it once was. Greed has taken over and is destroying that which was once beautiful. Your channel shows what elegance and good taste can be when a product line is made out of love and respect. Let's hope Lagerfeld and his minions take notice. Last, why isn't the price published? Old saying in retail, if you have to ask, you can't afford it. Everyone knows Lagerfeld wants to be exclusive and wants only those types of people to buy his wares. Whatever. To which I answered, and I said, Dear ST, what a wonderful comment. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Do you have any stories from your mom during her work for Coco? Would be so exciting to share it here. And this is where I'm sweating. I'm going to, see, just in case, because I'm sweaty, I'm going to hold my bag like that. This is the extent to which I take care for these little beauties. So the little 255 is with us right now. Actually, I'm going to put it down again. We're reviewing it. We're going into detail, guys. We're going into basically a testimony of what has been going down with ST's mom while she was working for Coco Chanel. Nothing gets closer to Coco than stories from people that have actually seen her live, or better even, that have worked with or for her. So this is the review of the 255 bag in spirit, because we're going now into Coco Chanel. Let's get the details rolling. My mother never had any bad stories to tell. Just how disciplined Madame was, and she expected her models to look perfect at all times. Her photos of those days are beautiful. It truly was a time of elegance, and everyone, men and women, dressed when leaving their homes, no matter where they were going to. My mom left for Paris at the age of 17 from Philadelphia, and was working for another designer when Coco saw her at a fashion tea. Often how clothes were sold to the ladies who lunched. She sent an assistant to request my mother come see her. She did, and Coco offered her a job. My mom had the Grace Kelly... Now you understand why I was mentioning the Kelly in the beginning? Tippy Hedron look, so she stood out in a sea of dark hair and eyes. Because the clothing was not sold off the rack, but custom tailored, the models would walk through the parlor during a tea or a luncheon, carrying cards with numbers on them. The clients would jot down the numbers of the outfits they wanted, and then, after the show and tea, they would meet with assistants to take their orders and measurements, if they were a new client or if their measurements had changed. Never failed that clients with similar coloring would order everything my mom modeled. Same with the other models. When it involved a private showing, often the client would request a model that resembled them physically. So my mom was often in the presence of famous blonde women of the 50s. She was with Madame for almost 10 years. Then she met my father, left, married, and some years later, I came along. She's in her 80s and still wears her Chanel suits and separates from those days, and up till Lagerfeld took over, my mother refused to buy Chanel when that happened. She has maintained her size from those days and dresses beautifully wherever she goes, which leads me to this about the quality of Chanel. The clothing she kept and bought years later are still in vogue, still look brand new due to the incredible classic and extraordinary eye of Coco Chanel. The suits are lined in silk. You can see the hand stitching throughout. Each piece was cut to fit by expert tailors and seamstresses, all which were the norm for the Chanel clothing up to the end. One of her suits has 18-karat gold threads running through it. I mean gorgeous clothes and heavy, because the material was quality, not junk. I completed undergrad in the late 80s, but had begun to collect Chanel items via yard sales, estate sales. People didn't know what they were throwing away. bags, gloves, shoes, dresses, gowns, pins, pearls, etc., for pennies. That all changed when Lagerfeld took over. He wanted to revamp the stuffy image and make it cool. So he went after celebrities to carry the bags. It was Joan Collins on Dynasty that carried a Chanel bag on TV for the first time. It went downhill after that, as the rich and famous were used to advertise his wares while the rest of us scrimped and saved to buy one bag. Prices skyrocketed after that event. In my honest opinion, the Cambon collection was what made the handbags become what they are now. Overpriced, poorly made products that see a price increase that defies logic. That collection was so popular and so copied that I would see middle school girls all over the country, I traveled for work, carrying the Cambon tote in purple and green, yellow and pink, plaid, colors and patterns that were never created in the house of Lagerfeld. Insiders told me he freaked knowing that proletarians were carrying Chanel. That was when everything changed regarding the bags, and well, look where we are now. My mother watches your channel. She loves what you are doing, and this is from her. Madame would be very proud to see that there are many who understand and appreciate the art, the designs, and the enjoyment that truly good taste and fashion can bring to their life. Hugs to you, Dacob. So the first time I read your comment, and actually your mom's little message to me, I teared up. This means the world to me because it's the closest I can get to Coco herself, and somebody showing me appreciation and respect and just sending me some love across means the world to me, because as you all know by now, whoever is watching me, this to me is not a status symbol. This to me does not mean wealth. This to me does not mean showing off money. This to me does not mean going out in the evening thinking that I will be in some place or event where I need to wear this. That is not what this is about. And if you have these bags for that reason, or if you're carrying this brand for that reason, you're in the wrong spot on my channel. Because this to me is every day, it's every night, it's in my DNA, it's a part of my life. I was raised admiring, I have to also admit, because I wasn't unfortunately born during the life of Coco Chanel, but I was raised admiring the advertisements in magazines, in glossy magazines, discovering books in libraries on Coco Chanel. And even when I was a kid, and there was, I don't know, I really was not asking myself any questions whether or not I wanted to wear something like this. It was irrelevant back then, because when I was so little, to me, this bag on a photo did not mean that I wanted the bag. To me, the photo was enough back then. To me, back then, looking at the type of advertisements that they were making, and also kind of the re-edited ones, from the 50s, made me dream. Made me dream of proportions, of aesthetics, of particular smells, emotions. And it still does. Now I can kind of also touch that dream, but this now accessorizes me. It enhances all of those emotions that I've had since I was a kid. And it is a part of my lifestyle. And it's a part of my lifestyle whether I choose to wear a t-shirt or an elegant shirt, or for example, this shirt, which my dad bought me years ago. I don't know, literally, it wasn't even, it doesn't have a name. Some buttons have fallen off. I don't want to put other buttons on it. As long as the original buttons are on it, I'll leave it the way it is. It's a memory of my father, and I'm never going to throw it away. The collar is breaking in the back. I do not care. It is it's an essential part of me, as is this bag, The memory of Coco Chanel, as the memory of my father, they're not fading. They're not fading because they live inside of me. That's why this bag is important to me. I could not give less of, let's keep it classy. I could not care less for other people judging me. It just does not stick to me. It doesn't, because I know the reasons why I admire certain products, why I admire certain lifestyles, why I admire and respect certain decisions, design choices. This bag just is a part of me. It's as simple as that. And it just so happens to be luxury, a luxury product. But this shirt isn't, and it's also a part of me. Heck, you're going to see me wear this shirt more in my videos than you're going to see me talk about this bag. So it doesn't matter how much a thing cost or didn't cost. But unfortunately, and this leads me to the point ST mentioned in the in the comment about, people, everything has become cheaper, like in the quality of things, but the prices are going up. People are buying stuff for the wrong reasons, and they're not paying attention to what they should be paying attention to. And that leads the brands ultimately to also say, oh, well, you know what? Don't matter. We're just we don't care. They don't care. They don't care for the quality. So why should we? We'll just raise the prices because they want their logos. In fact, I was talking to my essay in the Chanel boutique. The 2.55 bag does not sell that much because it don't have the double C logo on it. So people go like, meh, can I have the Timeless Classic double flat because I want to have the big double CC on it? Ask yourself why they can still afford to produce these in France while most of the Timeless Classic, especially the Jumbos and the Maxis, are all made in Italy. The factories in Italy don't produce just for Chanel, they produce for other brands as well. The Chanel factory in France is owned by Chanel and only produces for Chanel. And they don't have the time to produce the entire massive quantities of all the seasonal bags and all the most sold bags. Where a little bit more attention and care to detail goes to is these bags and very, very, very particularly sewn together, put together seasonal bags that require either some tweeds or some feathers or some appliques that are, that Italy just doesn't have the time to do or doesn't know how to do. The price logic and exponential growth of a particular luxury brand like Chanel is ultimately leading the brand to collapse. In fact, the only trick that they could, hope to use and persevere through is to keep people just wanting the logo and not the quality. Because the day people wake up and the day the new rich aren't new anymore and figure out that it's not just about the logo but also about the quality, that's when these brands are in deep SHIT. Because then what are they going to do all of a sudden? They're producing billions of bags a year and they can't keep up with the quality. But when people stop buying and really realize that the quality is lacking, what are these brands going to do? They're going to lose so much money because they're going to have to stop producing because they're going to have to go back to quality. And once they go back to quality, the quantity is going to have to drop. So what are they going to do? They're going to raise the prices even more? No, because by then their reputation would have already been damaged. And this is what we want to avoid here, damaging that reputation. So be cautious when you choose this bag. Be cautious when you pick it out, when you look at it, how it's made, how it's produced. All of these things are necessary, not just so that you get an amazing bag in a good quality, but these choices are very necessary and vital to the brand itself for it to continue growing and living on in the future. This is not an investment bag for you to be able to resell one day and get your same money back. No, this should be an investment for the brand itself, because if they deliver to you a product that's impeccable, you will be returning. Your kids will be returning. They will ensure themselves generations to come of customers. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you like this video. If you have, please do thumb it up and let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. Let me know if you sweated with me through this. If you haven't already but wish to, please consider subscribing to my channel here on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So guys, stay strong, stay firm, always poised, and never give up on love. Love you. See you soon. Take care. Bye.